It's your work week weather broadcast with Joey Only, the Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube channel right here, looking at Western Canada, specifically British Columbia, mostly weather stories. We do have a wildfire that's broken out near the Kelowna airport that has all flights grounded at this time. We'll look at that first. With the heat coming in for the next couple of days, you can expect to see a few more fires torching off. Some places that took lightning skunking around out there that we don't know about might stand up, so don't be surprised if you see a column of smoke you didn't see yesterday and it starts getting warmer the next 2 days. But roly-poly, the story this week is like heat and then rain and then heat. And I don't have a particularly good thunderstorm outlook, and I'm skeptical of this. The models aren't showing thunderstorms nearly as much on, say, Wednesday as I would expect outright. So there is the possibility we could see some change in the forecast in the days ahead. And I'll explain where and when and why and that as we get into the show. Anyways, let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God. I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Oh, hey, can you hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit the thanks button, man, if you wouldn't mind. I mean, especially if you're making business decisions that are putting money in your bank off of my forecasting, like not to roof a house that day, or, you know, help the guy out, buy me a coffee, become a channel member, something like that. Okay, let's get on with the show. Okay, our fire story this afternoon centers around Kelowna Airport. A little fire going on nearby the airport that has flights grounded right now. I know that my friend used to live right down here on Whalen Road or whatever it's called. So the Whalen Creek fire is close to the airport, moderate fire danger in the area. Okay, so it's out of control. It's 2 hectares right now. So it's not very big yet. Not very big yet. Well, let's go to the full details, get the skinny on this that we know right now. It's spreading. It's out of control. We don't have any pictures right now. Suspected cause is the humans. The humans may have caused this one, okay? That's a bummer. We don't have any evacuation alerts or whatnot yet. I'm sure that some of that may come, and we have no response update. So this just happened in the last hour or so. We don't have much information. I don't even have a satellite hotspot detection. It's happened so soon that the satellites haven't gone over yet and detected that the fire is actually there. Next, looking at Monday in BC, pretty nice. If you want a thunderstorm, you might have to go all the way up to maybe the Fort Nelson area. Could see a small, non-severe storm up there. Maybe up north of Dawson and Dempster Highway area. Maybe you could. We'll jump ahead here to Tuesday and see what we got in the docket here. I don't think it's a whole lot different. It's mostly this northern area. So what's happening is one of these upper level lows I've been talking about. It's going to be hitting up the coast this week, putting a lot of rain up and down the coast. Some of that rain is going to spill into the BC interior and whatnot. Meanwhile, on the Prairie side, they start off the week a little bit more favorable for severe thunderstorms. There is a risk there, you know, outside of Regina, basically in areas that are to the east of Regina and Saskatoon out towards Yorkton, of funnel clouds on Monday. So that's something the storm chasers can be watching for, though I think the best chance of severe weather will be that Area A that encompasses Brandon, Manitoba. That southeast corner of Saskatchewan, southwest corner of Manitoba is one of the storm hot spots in Canada. You might not realize it, but traditionally that's one of the areas where we see the most lightning strikes every year. If you want to see lightning, that's one of the good areas to go to, as is this corridor near Edmonton. There's a couple lighter colors in the Caribbean region in BC where we get more lightning per square kilometer per year than, say, other people. Then the most lightning in Canada would be Ontario. Nonetheless, 3 to 4 centimeter hail down there, 90 kilometers on the gusts of wind, up to 50 mils in some of these bombs down there that could be going off. So that southern Manitoba, southern Saskatchewan corner, concern for you. Of course, there's not out of the question that we have a funnel cloud that could touch down in that, say, greater Yorkton stretch of the map there in central Saskatchewan. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen. It's just not beyond the realm of possibility. Meanwhile, Area B is like, well, for most of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and even a little bit of northern Alberta, you could see non-severe thunderstorms possibly. Although don't be like, if the severe thunderstorm watch is put out in one of these places tomorrow, don't be like, well, Joey said severe wasn't likely. I'm just saying it's not as likely as this area down here where there's a moderate risk that severe storms will happen. Oh, Jetstream, why do you gotta be so friggin' mean? You're bringing us rain and everything. Where's our summer? still feels like spring. Okay, here's the jet stream, the delivery system here for the world. The delivery system there. Upper level lows, there you go. Joey's been talking about that since last year at the end of July. We've had this consistent digging in of upper level low, one after another into the Gulf of Alaska, one after another. What's that going to do? Well, okay, let's get back to zero here and go on up. So we got the ridging here. Let some warm air into BC. Yay, warm air. It's sunny. It's sunny. It's sunny. Suddenly it's summer. And then no, it's rainy. It's rainy. It's crappy. Now there's a big low in the prairies and going on through storms in the prairies. And hey, it's nice. It's summer. No, it's not. Bam. Here comes more crap. And maybe by next weekend we'll actually have the outbreak of thunderstorms that we're looking for. Now, if there's a time I would expect thunderstorms to pop, it would be there maybe on Tuesday, Wednesday. So far, the signals aren't looking great for thunderstorms to pop in BC, but that doesn't mean that things won't change. We got a lot of heat coming into the province there, and with the heat comes sometimes more instability, and also, though, what can come out of that is more wildfires, which has nothing to do with thunderstorms outright, but that does mean that thunderstorms that could happen, even if there's not very many of them on Wednesday. I still think there'll be some thunderstorms on Wednesday. No matter what, and whatever thunderstorms we do have a higher chance of starting fires, particularly down in southern British Columbia, where the indices are much higher right now. So there's your jet stream. There's your 500 millibar animation showing you the delivery system of the weather for us into the next week, and it still feels like spring in a way. Okay, total QPF in millimeters. Let's have a look at where the rainfall is going to be totaling up there. Not looking good for central parts of Texas, where they continue to take rain down there, of course. So over 70 people now dead, and many still missing. So you can see our upper level low here with the counterclockwise motion that low pressure has in the northern hemisphere is feeding this garbage into the BC coast. So we're going to see a lot of rain up and down central BC coast, northern BC, and then maybe some of Vancouver Island through the first bunch of days, and then that will spill over, of course, affecting the Caribous and Rockies more likely than, say, the Chilcotin, which is in that dry sector. So, I mean, if you're in a dry place in BC, I'm not telling you that there's going to be some miraculous amount of rain. I'm saying that rainy systems are affecting the province on the whole, and depending where you live, you're going to have a different experience. Here in Wells, where I'm high up in the Caribou Mountains, right about where the hand is there somewhere, looks like, it's typical for us to take a lot of rain when these kind of events are going on, right? So, and by the weekend, more rain just gives you an idea of, this isn't a very bad thing when you're thinking about like how dry it's been in Canada for the last bunch of years, Western Canada. We're taking some rain. We're into July. We're well into July, and we're taking some rain. But what happens is that upper level low pattern also brings us the shit. So as it's bringing us the shit, it's bringing us cold air, from the north that it's shoveling down over the course of the ocean there and picking up more moisture as it does. Sure, that's happening. It's also pulling air from the upper levels. It's pulling air from higher up in the sky where the air is much colder and bringing it down to surface, right? So in that process, we're going to see here on the map the north coast have cool temperatures as this system is shoveling into there, and then you can see the southern British Columbia gets real warm. Nighttime comes during the daytime on Monday. Boom, nice and warm there. Nice values. Pretty warm all across the board in Western Canada. That includes Ontario, really. Just until you get far enough east, it's not so hot. Then Tuesday comes our warmest day. But as that happens, you start to see the heat building now in the prairies. So look for heat warnings in southern Alberta and southern Saskatchewan again. And now that heat, there it is, that heat is going to make its way eastward in the coming days after that. You can see our cool down coming because of the moisture that's hitting the coast there, because of the upper level low. And you can see here, you can definitely see why is the temperature the way it is. Well, you can deduce generally that crappy weather is making it that way, right? The simple things you can look at. Look at the crazy temperatures down there, man. They've been up to like 118 and things like that at times. Even in this map, we're looking at 114 I just saw in there. That's crazy hot, even for those desert places, man. Don't fool yourself. Anytime you're at 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius, you're talking extreme heat. It's anything in those. I don't know if 110 is 40 Celsius, but I'm giving you the just telling you when you're in that range. Expect that. So you see BC cools down a little bit, and then then we're going to warm up a little bit of a cool down in the prairies, because that low comes across, forms a new low, makes a bunch of storms this week there, and now we come back to a little bit of warmth in time for the weekend, but that should this time maybe be a trigger for thunderstorms, and see if we can see in the heat map where the thunderstorms might be popping on. Nah, it doesn't really show up. So we'll have to kind of wait out the week and see how that actually looks. But signals are saying thunderstorm. Could we have some heat in BC this month? Let's look a little further out. That looks very hot. That looks very hot by the 19th. Wow, big low forecast there for the 20th. Yeah, I'd take that with a grain of salt, right? But hey, look at these. It's nice to see there are summer temperatures out there, maybe coming for us here in BC. There's so much heat in the system, and we've really been skipped over. We've been on average, we've been cooler than Alaska. We've been like the coolest place in North America. That's not Arctic so far this spring and summer. HRDPS Canadian model for Monday. Feeling pretty good about these values. Feeling pretty accurate. Kamloops up to 34, Kelowna 31, Williams Lake 25, Prince George 18. You're on the cooler side. You can see where these isobars bending are showing you where the upper level low is. We'll have to look at that in a second using another map here. We're trying to use the high resolution Canadian model for a second to give us our most accurate data. So what's going to be going on Monday? 25s, mid 20s through much of the prairie, maybe higher 20s down south, but really even in the northern prairies, even up into the boreal forest there, you're largely looking at temps in the 20s. And of course, we got thunderstorms and whatnot going on all through this quadrant, so that's why it looks cooler down there. The weather will affect that. And warm weather coming up to Flin Flon, La Ronge, and then some of these up to Thompson. They got a big wildfire going on up there now. That's very concerning. So there, we're looking at pretty warm temperatures coming the prairie way, and that's going to wake up fires a lot. But meanwhile, northern BC looking pretty cool until you get far enough north where you're like, what the heck is going on here? That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense that's that hot up there. So even when we get to 11 a.m. on Tuesday, what are we seeing here? That's as far as this modeling goes, this high-res modeling. We're still seeing into the 30s probably before lunchtime on Tuesday. We're talking pretty hot. So let's switch over to the ECMWF model here, see what the Europeans are saying. They think it's going to be a little bit cooler down there. But hey, by late afternoon, we're seeing that cool down up here in the Caribbean. That's why I'm still not convinced there's not going to be thunderstorms here. But, according to this and that, we're looking at just rain coming through. So if we're going to back up for a second now, we're going to have a look at this upper level low that we couldn't see on the expanded map there. We'll bump back to Monday here. You can see the pattern shoveling in. You can see clear as day how that wants to lash up and down the coast with a lot of rain, a lot of water. So, Haida Gwa, you're looking at rain. Terrace, you're looking at rain. Close to the coast, you're looking at heavier rain. You're looking at heavy rain as you get down towards Bella Coola, Bella, whatnot overnight into Monday. Bam, there's some, that's heavy rain to that mid-coast there. And then even the northern tip of Vancouver Island, you'll be taking quite a bit. So we're looking Tuesday pretty hot, but we're not seeing the thunderstorm potential here. And for some reason, I'm just skeptical on that. If you get further north, it seems to be there. I'm skeptical that we won't see something transpire with all that heat nearby and getting down to 35 in some spots in southern British Columbia. Why not? Why couldn't we have some big time heat down there mix and create some big time thunderstorms, 33s and whatnot Tuesday afternoon? So very, very hot down south. But as you can see, we're not enjoying the benefit of that heat because of this crap. So the rain coming on through, getting lots of rain into the Caribbean Mountains, lots of rain in the east side of the province in general, where the inland rainforests are and whatnot. They'll be taking lots of rain. As we get into Wednesday, you can see lingering showers. That's when we maybe see thunderstorm threat. There will be some thunderstorm threat in the Caribbean at that time. I don't know where I'll find it here on the map, but trust me, on Wednesday, there'll be some thunderstorm threat in here somewhere, as well as down south. And then we're looking, we got to kind of almost like do a complete separate look at thunderstorms in the prairies because anything kind of goes over there. Northern Saskatchewan on Wednesday going off. Big time storms in the Calgary foothills. This energy, this crap that's been coming over through BC is going to try to form its own low down there. That's what you're seeing right here. It's trying to form a low. I don't know how successful it will be to be a cohesive low, but you can see the pocket there. You can more or less see the pocket it's trying to create. Lingering showers overnight into Thursday in southern British Columbia. Thunderstorms strong in central Manitoba. Thunderstorms strong Saskatoon towards Flin Flon, and that more or less that band maybe over towards Red Deer on it. And then again, rain coming into southern BC. So you're going to have a couple days of heat that's going to make some fires stand up, and people are going to be like, oh my God, there's fires burning. what's going to happen is you are going to take some rain in the area. And if you're not even taking a lot of rain directly, it should cool things down a little bit to, limit fire behavior somewhat. And you see by Thursday, new low falling into that pocket there again. Next one wants to come and lash BC coast again. Saskatchewan, some thunderstorms, Manitoba lighting up on Thursday, more likely than not. New low trying to develop itself there. And by the time we're hitting Friday, again, heavy rain, wind slamming up into Haida Gwaii, slamming up towards the north coast there, Prince Rupert and whatnot. You're going to get absolutely slammed with rain. This has been a very wet start to our summer for us in BC. And for those of us who are, waiting for wildfire work, well, good luck on that. I don't know what's going to happen this year. Low there on Friday in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the rain in behind through southern Saskatchewan, central Saskatchewan. That's more or less what we're looking at this week is, an up and down of we finally start to get a little bit of warm weather and it just takes a beating right away. And then, right back to that warmer weather as we come towards the weekend a little bit more. Let's see if we can find how warm will it get by the weekend. Well, of course, down by the border, it's going to be nice a lot of these days this week. But I mean, still, Quesnel only seeing Tuesday on Friday seems crazy to me. And it's just I've seen that so many times where there's not thunderstorms forecast, but I'm like, well, where there's the heat there's instability there, how can there not be some? And then sometimes I'm correct on that, and sometimes like, well, no, it just plays out in the way that the big time meteorologists seem to have the data for that I don't have the data for. Anyways, that's a little bit of what's going on for this week coming up. A couple warm days to start off, lots of rain coming on through. Fire indices mostly are still pretty good in the province. There's some dry stuff. There's a few fires that I sparked off. We got Kelowna flights canceled right now. Okay, I know. Crazy, but not really. Look at that rain that's coming through this week. That will cool things down a little bit. The extra cloud cover will help reduce fire activity. The fire loves to have the sunlight. The sunlight makes it go. The moist air in the region, if we have that humidex value come down to 20% there on Tuesday, it's like, fires are standing up. But then the next day it's 40, 50, 60% or whatever in your region. Or higher because it's raining. It's actually physically raining. It's going to have much higher humidity if that's happening. Well, that the humidity alone will suppress the fire behavior. That's that crossover I keep telling you about, until you understand the relationship between the weather, these crossover conditions, what humidity will do, what dry air will do, what warm temperatures will do, how it will influence fire behavior, and what different fuels will do to influence fire behavior. Man, there's so much I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours and hours. In fact, I do all the time. I'm crazy. Hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, keep supporting the dude. If you wouldn't mind, any support will help. I'm literally, penniless. Okay, talk to you soon, everybody. Bye now.